Welcome to the deep dive, and a really warm welcome to all the gentlemen listening in today. We're going to unpack a topic that becomes, well, incredibly important as we gather more wisdom and experience over the years. It's that inner fire, that spark, that feeling of vitality. So let me ask you honestly now, when was the last time you felt that truly electric power, that sensation you might remember from younger days? Because look, for many men over 60, the reality can be a bit uncomfortable. Maybe erections are softer, sensation isn't quite as sharp, climax feels, well, fainter. And the tough part is many of us just quietly accept this. We think it's just an unavoidable part of getting older. But what if I told you that your best days are absolutely not behind you? Today, we're taking a deep dive into some really insightful perspectives from Dr. Mohit Khera. He is a board-certified urologist, men's health expert with, wow, over 3 decades of experience. And Dr. Khera's core message really offers a powerful counter-narrative. He says much of this decline in vitality isn't just age itself. It's profoundly influenced by, and I quote, the fuel you put into your body every single day. So our mission today, to reveal how some simple, really accessible foods can lead to pretty extraordinary transformations. We're talking blood flow, sensitivity, pleasure, helping you feel, as Dr. Carr often says, like 20 again.
It's truly eye-opening, isn't it? Because the answer we're discussing today isn't coming from a prescription bottle or, some complex medical procedure. It's coming directly from your plate. We're talking about strategically giving your body the right foods, maybe before self-pleasure or intimacy, to unleash something quite extraordinary. Think surging blood flow, sharpened sensitivity, and a climax that genuinely feels like it has returned with the power of youth. So we're moving beyond those fleeting gimmicks, the quick fix pills you see advertised everywhere. We're going straight into practical, natural solutions. And yeah, we're going to reveal 6 specific foods that make this possible, including one that is, believe it or not, almost completely overlooked by most men, despite having some pretty potent effects.
That's a powerful promise. I'm definitely ready to dive in. So let's get straight to that first food on Dr. Carr's list because, like you said, it might surprise people. It might even get a chuckle. It's not some rare herb or a complicated supplement. It's the humble beet. Dr. Carr actually told me when he first started recommending beets to his older patients, many of them literally laughed. They'd say, "Beets, seriously, doc, a root vegetable is going to help my sex life." But the results, he says, were just astounding.
Right. And the reason beets are so remarkably powerful is, well, it's quite elegant science, actually. You see, they're just loaded with natural nitrates. And your body is incredibly clever. It quickly converts those nitrates into something called nitric oxide. Now, think of nitric oxide like a chemical key, or maybe a switch. It signals your blood vessels, telling them to open up, to relax, and expand. And this allows more blood to just surge through. And that when we talk vitality, especially for men, remember, erections are fundamentally all about blood flow. It's that simple. The more blood that can enter the penis, the firmer it gets, the fuller it feels, and crucially, the more sensitive it becomes. I've had men tell me something with this real sense of wonder that after just a few weeks, just consistently adding beets, maybe beet juice, maybe roasted beets, they were waking up with morning erections they hadn't seen in years, decades sometimes. And the sensations, they describe them as so sharp, so alive, like a clock had genuinely been turned back. And it goes beyond the bedroom, too. Beets are known to help lower blood pressure, reduce strain on the heart, and significantly increase stamina. It's actually why you see so many elite athletes drinking beet juice before competitions. It gives them measurable improvements in endurance.
That's fascinating. So carrying that same stamina boost, that improved blood flow into the bedroom, or even, into a private moment, instead of feeling drained afterwards, you might actually notice more energy, more strength, maybe even a quiet confidence boost. And it's simple, right? Beetroot juice, roasted beets in a salad, beet powder in a smoothie.
Exactly. The how doesn't matter as much as the how often. Consistency is where the real magic happens with beets.
Okay, beets are incredible, but I can almost hear some listeners thinking, all right, beets are interesting, but is there anything maybe a little more indulgent? A treat, perhaps, that could help? And the answer is yes. That brings us to our next food. It's rich, a little bitter maybe, but it doesn't just help circulation, it actually awakens your brain's pleasure chemistry. Dr. Carr told me about a patient initially skeptical, gave him that grin when told to eat chocolate for his vitality, but apparently he came back weeks later with a very different kind of smile, a deeply satisfied one.
Yes, but let's be really clear here. We're absolutely not talking about those sugary candy bars, filled with milk, fat, and artificial junk. No. We mean real dark chocolate, the good stuff. At least 70% cocoa content, maybe higher. This is what I genuinely call medicine disguised as dessert. Because it's packed, absolutely packed, with these powerful plant compounds called flavonoids. Flavonoids aren't just color. They're like tiny flexibility boosters for your blood vessels. They help keep arteries supple, wide open. They improve circulation and fight the kind of inflammation that can stiffen arteries as we age. And better circulation? Well, plain and simple, it means better erections. But dark chocolate doesn't just stop at the arteries. It goes right to your brain chemistry. Cocoa actually stimulates the release of dopamine. Dopamine is essentially your brain's natural pleasure fuel. It's the reward chemical. So when dopamine levels rise, arousal can feel stronger, excitement might come faster, and orgasms, they can hit with significantly more intensity. Men often describe it as a richer, more profound release, something that genuinely reminds them of their younger years. Plus, dark chocolate has magnesium and tryptophan. These help calm stress, relax the body, and honestly, stress is such a quiet killer of performance and pleasure.
That's a really crucial point about stress. A calmer mind lets blood flow where it needs to, helps you stay present.
Okay.
Makes everything more enjoyable, right? So just a small piece of quality dark chocolate, maybe a few times a week, that could start to shift things.
Exactly. Think of it less as candy, more as a potent, delicious tool for reclaiming vitality.
Okay, so we've covered blood flow with beets and blood flow plus pleasure chemistry with dark chocolate. But for many men, that inner fire feels deeply linked to hormones, specifically testosterone. So for those looking to maybe flip that switch back on, restore some hormonal balance, what's a key dietary factor that directly impacts testosterone?
That's an excellent question. And it brings us straight to a food that's, well, it's long been known as nature's ultimate aphrodisiac. Oysters. Now, I know some people shy away from them, but their power is really undeniable from a nutritional standpoint. Oysters are one of the absolute richest sources of zinc on the planet. And zinc is an essential mineral. Your body needs it to produce testosterone. Without enough zinc, your drive, your masculinity, your physical performance, it can definitely take a noticeable hit. See, testosterone isn't just about sex drive. It's about your overall energy levels, your motivation, your confidence. And yes, it absolutely influences the firmness and the intensity of both erections and orgasms. When testosterone is low, everything can feel a bit muted. Desire fades. Climax feels flat, almost disappointing. You start asking yourself, are my best days really over? But when that zinc deficiency is corrected, maybe through oysters or other sources, and testosterone levels rise, that fire comes back. You feel it. That hunger returns. Erections regain strength. Climax has that satisfying, powerful kick again. It makes you feel truly alive. I've genuinely seen men transform when you replenish their zinc. It's like they've been switched back on after feeling half asleep for years. Now, if oysters aren't your thing, that's perfectly fine. Zinc is also abundant in pumpkin seeds, beef, chickpeas, beans, foods you can easily work into your diet. The key, again, like with the beets and chocolate, is consistency. Regular intake helps correct that deficiency and restore that vital spark.
It's incredible, isn't it, how one simple mineral can ripple out and affect so much. Energy, confidence, intensity. And speaking of powerful, simple solutions, there's another food. This one arcs differently again, but just as potently. A fruit, actually, so refreshing, some people even call it nature's Viagra. Dr. Khera shared a story about a gentleman in his 70s. He'd stopped buying watermelon, thought it was just a sweet treat for kids, but Dr. Khera convinced him to start eating it again, specifically for his erections.
And the science completely backs that up. Watermelon contains a really special amino acid called citrulline. Now, amino acids are the building blocks for proteins, right? Inside your body, this citrulline gets converted into another amino acid, arginine. And arginine then gets transformed into, guess what? Nitric oxide. That same chemical we talked about with beets, the one that signals blood vessels to relax, open wide, let that blood surge in. And that flood of blood is precisely what creates the firmness, the fullness, and the kind of sensitivity that makes pleasure, whether alone or with a partner, come alive again. Researchers do make that comparison, nature's Viagra, because some men report noticing an increase in blood flow, sometimes within hours of eating it. But the real sustained magic, that comes from making it a regular part of your diet. Watermelon helps fight what I sometimes call erectile fatigue. You know, that frustrating thing. Being able to get hard, but not stay hard. Over time, citrulline helps keep circulation steady. It allows you to maintain firmness longer, maybe respond quicker when aroused. It just enhances the intensity. Patients have told me, yeah, stronger erections, sure, but also feeling lighter, more refreshed, more alive generally. One man specifically said, Doc, I thought that kind of stamina was gone forever. It's like his body was waking up again. And it's easy. Fresh slices, blended into juice, freeze chunks for a cool snack. But again, consistency, daily dedication, that's vital.
That really clarifies the blood flow aspect of watermelon. It's fascinating. But okay, if blood flow is the engine, are there other parts of the system we sometimes miss? Because I have heard men say exactly that. I can still get an erection, doc, but it just doesn't feel the same. Like the sensation is dulled. That seems pretty common in the 60s and 70s.
You've hit on such a critical point. It's something many overlook. Pleasure isn't only about blood flow. It's profoundly about the health and integrity of your nerves. Your nerves are the messengers, right? They carry signals from your brain down to your penis. Signals for blood flow, signals for sensation. If those nerves get weak or damaged or just sluggish over time, you can have a firm erection, but still feel, well, numb, detached, ultimately unsatisfied. And that's where walnuts come into play. Walnuts are one of nature's richest sources of omega-3 fatty acids. Now, we hear about omega-3s for heart health, and that's true, but they're also crucial for nourishing your entire nervous system. Think of your nerves like electrical wires. If the insulation gets frayed, the signal is weak or intermittent. When they're well fed, well protected by these healthy fats, the signal is sharp, clear, powerful. So eating a handful of walnuts every day is like giving your nerves the raw materials they need to function at their best. And over time, this can genuinely grant back that tingling, that warmth, that raw sensation you might have thought was faded forever. Within weeks, I've had patients tell me even self-pleasure suddenly felt more alive, more electric. One man described it beautifully, like rediscovering a part of himself he thought was gone for good. Plus, walnuts help reduce inflammation, support heart health, keep energy stable. It's a simple snack doing complex internal work. Eat them raw, sprinkle them on oatmeal or salads, pair them with fruit. A sustained approach, that daily intake, is always the key.
Wow, connecting nerve health so directly to sensation. That's a revelation. It just makes so much sense. Okay, we're nearing the end of our list. Our final food, what's the one that kind of ties everything together? Blood flow, hormones, pleasure chemistry, but maybe it's still underappreciated.
The unsung hero, in my view. It has to be the pomegranate. It's been revered for centuries, literally, as a symbol of fertility and vitality. And modern science is finally showing us why. Pomegranates are absolutely packed with antioxidants, more than almost any other common fruit, actually. And these antioxidants, they act like, well, think of them as armor for your arteries. They protect against damage. They help clear out plaque buildup. The result, stronger, cleaner arteries means stronger blood flow. And stronger blood flow means firmer, more reliable erections. Pretty direct link there. But that's only half the pomegranate story. Studies have also shown it can effectively boost testosterone. Remember testosterone, that crucial hormone fueling desire, energy, the raw power of orgasm. In several clinical studies, men who consistently drank pomegranate juice showed higher testosterone levels, yes, but also reported better mood and improved overall vitality. It's a whole system effect. So when you combine better blood flow with higher testosterone, the changes are undeniable. Desire tends to return, erections firm up reliably, and climax. It feels full again, draining, deeply satisfying. Much like you might remember from your 20s. Men have described it as rediscovering an intensity they honestly thought was lost forever. Instead of a weak release, they felt that surge again, leaving them breathless and fulfilled. And you can enjoy it easily. Pure juice, the ruby seeds, called arils, sprinkled on yogurt or salad, or just eating the fruit. But like everything else, consistency makes all the difference.
So, bringing this all together, what does it mean for you listening right now? Dr. Carr's message, it's just so powerful. Your best days are not behind you. And that isn't just wishful thinking. It's based on real science about giving your body the right tools, the right fuel.
Absolutely. Think about the synergy here. It's incredible. You've got beets flooding your system with nitric oxide, opening those blood vessels like floodgates, dark chocolate lighting up the pleasure centers in your brain, making every touch feel better, oysters or other zinc sources flipping the switch on testosterone, bringing back that power and drive. Watermelon acting like nature's vasodilator, keeping blood flow strong and steady for endurance. Walnuts bringing life back to your nerves, sharpening every single sensation, making pleasure feel electric again. And then pomegranate, the champion, strengthening arteries and lifting testosterone, delivering that intensity. You see, each one works on a different piece of the system, but together, they create something really extraordinary, a genuine return to the strength, the stamina, the deep satisfaction you remember. I've honestly had men tell me, sometimes quite emotionally, with tears in their eyes, they never believed they could feel this vital again, until they started giving their bodies this essential fuel they'd been missing.
And gentlemen, that really can be your story too. This isn't just theory floating out there. Within just a few weeks of consistent effort, making these foods part of your routine, you will begin to notice it. Maybe stronger morning erections, a quicker response when you want it, firmer erections, a fuller, more satisfying release. So I leave you with this challenge. Don't just listen to this deep dive, act on it. Start today. Even with just one of these foods, your body is waiting. And trust me, it is more capable than you probably realize right now. Age doesn't have to define your masculinity or your vitality. Your choices do. And that choice, it's yours right now. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into reclaiming your vitality. We truly hope this exploration has resonated with you, maybe brought some valuable insights or sparked some ideas. If it has, please consider liking this deep dive, perhaps sharing it with someone else who might benefit from this knowledge, and definitely subscribing to our channel so you don't miss future explorations into health and well-being. Thank you again for being here.